Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, August 11th, 2020. Welcome to Weigh-Ins, an MMA spinoff of the Ginger and the Beard podcast.
In this week's episode, we're going to take a quick look at the UFC Fight Night from this past Saturday, preview the UFC 252 card scheduled for this coming weekend, and share what's happening in the UFC and fighting world. Stick around. All right, let's do this.
What's up, guys? I'm AJ, aka the Ginger.
And I'm Brees, aka the Beard.
Yes, sir. So excited to be back in this seat, podcasting with you, my friend.
Oh, man.
It feels like it's been like a month, but it's been like a week.
I know, dude. It's crazy, especially with like how fast the weeks go and everything. But it was just,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. Crazy. So much going on in the world today. But
reunited and it feels so good.
We're back. Back at it again with the white vans. Anyway.
With the white vans? What?
You don't remember that? Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the white. I think it was the vans.
I tried to convince my brother, whose name is Daniel, to buy some white vans when that was like a thing, but
oh man, that would have been awesome.
He bought combat boots instead. Not really combat boots. He's a boot guy though.
That's cool.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. It was interesting. Last week was interesting. Not to go into all the details, but we had a loss in the family, so we had to go travel home and be with the family and all that good stuff. But we're excited to be back at it again, and we got a lot to talk about.
We sure do, man. Again, sorry for your loss, but let's get into it, dude. Let's do this. You ready to talk about some UFC?
Yes, sir. Really quick, I do want to mention this delicious moonshine I'm drinking. This is a apple pie moonshine from Sleepy Fox Distillery in Glasgow, Virginia, close to my hometown. Definitely probably not in the appropriate glass for this, but it's the closest thing to like a whiskey glass that I had, so it's working.
If you can drink out of it, it works. Bravo. I got a local rye whiskey here, and speaking of that, I can't wait to try that someday, dude. I want to come down. I want to experience it. A little bit jealous. It's probably sweet and delicious. So
sweet.
So I got Catoctin Creek here. It's a rye whiskey, kind of local. Not much left in the bottle, but we're gonna have a good time tonight. So pour that sucker up.
Yeah.
Let's do it, dude. Cheers, sir.
Yes. Cheers to you, my friend.
Chink.
Had a couple of little ass cubes.
A couple ass cubes?
Okay.
Hi there. How you going on those ice cubes?
Ice cubes. Typically, I stick to the ice cubes. But once in a while, I break out the ice cubes.
Sometimes you need a little ass cube in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
I think we just go into it, man. We're just going to forget that happened. We're going to clip that later, put that out there. So you guys check us out on Instagram. All right, man. So let's get into the UFC Fight Night, headlined last weekend by Derek Lewis and Alexei Olenek.
Oh, dude.
What a night. What a night.
Pretty fast night, I'd say. One of the faster nights that I can recall. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a sip of that. Whew.
Yeah. Does it burn real good?
Burns real good.
Burns so good.
Very good.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, there's plenty we could talk about on this fight card. Not the biggest, most popular fight card, obviously in recent memory, but still one we should talk about. But you know, since it has passed and we have a lot of stuff to talk about moving forward, I think we should just focus on the main event and maybe one other fight. So do you want to start with the Weidman fight?
Yeah, I can start with either one. So the Weidman fight. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah. Let's talk about that, right? So Weidman versus Akhmedov. Akhmedov, is that how you say it? I think it's Akhmedov, right? Yep. So kind of a grueling match for both of these guys. Kind of had to dig deep, man. I wasn't really sure going into the third round who was winning. I feel like you could kind of throw it up. Weidman kept trying to get takedowns, kept getting stuffed. Akhmedov tried to get a couple takedowns. You know, there was some good strikes between them, but fairly evenly matched, I'd say. And then getting into the third round, that's where the winners win. So Chris Weidman dug deep, did what he had to do. He took Akhmedov down, which he had really been struggling with. Not so much getting him down, but keeping him down. He was really, you could tell this Akhmedov guy, strong
Dude,
like bull.
Yeah, he's like one of the few fighters in the UFC that's just like a freaking statue.
Yeah, man, he's just, real stout. So, but Weidman was able to, get his hooks in, keep him down, sprawl him out, and, start working a little bit of a ground and pound. He almost got an arm triangle on him, but overall he controlled the whole third round, completely dominant. I think one judge gave him a 10-8 of that round, which I think's valid, because I don't think Akhmedov had any real offense there. So, man, good for Weidman. One thing to mention is, Weidman, I think he had five out of his last 6 fights were losses. He's really been struggling. I think he beat Gastelum. That was like his one win out of those past 6 fights. Everything else, man, has just been a real struggle for him. So, good for the All-American to catch himself a win, catch himself a break.
Yep.
He's saying Weidman's back. He's saying, we'll see. Maybe he'll have a number by his name. Maybe he's got a number by his name this week. I haven't seen it yet, but
I don't think they've updated him yet.
I'm not sure. Maybe he'll have one soon, though. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, and
man?
good on him, because Omari Akhmedov, he's coming off a 3-fight win streak. His last fight was a decision over Ian Heinisch, who's he's a great up-and-coming fighter. So, Omari's looked really good, but his last 3 fights actually went to decision. So not surprising that this one also did as well, but great to see Chris Weidman back in the saddle again. And to your takedown point, 16 attempts. He had 16 takedown attempts, so you know what he was trying to do. No surprise, obviously, coming from Chris Weidman, but he landed 5 of those successfully. It looks like the significant strike attempts, the Omari is outpacing Chris on there. So I guess the takedown and ground game obviously worked in his favor. So definitely good on Chris, man. And that's exciting to see him come back.
Yeah, good for him. And I just want to throw this in here because it kind of just fits. Luke Rockhold, who's kind of been Weidman's kind of nemesis for a while, right? Says that he wants to postpone his retirement, is interested in a rematch with Chris Weidman. So, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but it's like, two old dogs going at it again. These guys have both had their day. Are they just trying to? I think Luke's just trying to like scrounge for whatever he can get. He knows he can beat Weidman, so he's just trying to get a free win. Is that it?
Maybe. I don't know, dude. I'm not sure. I think Luke not obviously, but he had his chin has been in question in his recent fights. But that would be interesting to see. I kind of like the old dogs coming back together and settling the score. So
yeah, not bad. I mean, he hasn't won since 2015, since he won the title. So he's in just as bad shape as Chris Weidman. When the reporter asked him why he's not choosing to retire, he just responded simply, "Because I don't feel like it."
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. I don't care really if he comes back. I personally don't like the guy. But enough about him. Why don't we get back to the main event of this past weekend?
Yes, let's do that. So Derek Lewis versus Alexei Olenek. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was kind of pulling for Alexei in this one. I like Alexei, just watching him over the last few years. He's just such an unassuming fighter. Like, number one, he looks way older than he actually is. I don't have his actual age in front of me, but he looks like he's like 60 years old.
He does.
And he has like the most. I don't know if this is actually true, but I would say his record is up there to be like one of the most fights I've ever seen. Like, if you look at his record, he's got like 50-some wins. Hold on, let me pull it up. We've got the internet in front of me. Let's see. 59-14. 59-14-1. That dude has had so many fights in his professional career. He's got to be one of the most experienced fighters in fighting in the UFC in terms of, actual professional fights. Maybe not UFC fights, but obviously going against Derek Lewis, that's, obviously a major contender there. So I think it kind of played out the way most people probably thought it was going to play out. Alexei kind of came out in the first round, and he tried to impose his will by getting Derek to the ground. He was successful in getting him to the ground. And Alexi's known, his name's the Boa Constrictor. It's his nickname, and for good reason, because if he gets you in some kind of a submission or a choke, it's pretty much game over. The guy's a master at submissions.
Right.
But Derek is so big, dude. What was the weight difference on that?
I think it was 40 pounds, I think.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, insane. So Derek, obviously, I think he maxed out the heavyweight class at 265. And he's just a big dude. Like, so when Alexi had him in those submission attempts, I think he had like 3 or 4 submission attempts in that first round.
Yeah.
He was just like, the size was just unreal. So it's just hard for him to lock that in, even though they weren't not even sweaty yet. I think typically, in the rounds 3, or if it's a championship fight, the championship rounds, those guys are so sweaty, it's hard to lock anything in. But first round, still couldn't lock anything in from a guy like Alexi that's saying something.
Yeah, he looked like he was doing a neck crank or something for the end of the first round, where he was just trying to crank. It didn't look like a submission. It just looked like he was just trying to make
uncomfortable.
Yeah, he was just trying to make him uncomfortable, right?
Yeah,
which is really weird, because you could tell after that round, his arms were tired.
Yeah, exactly.
He put in a lot of effort to try and just crank on Derek's neck. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, well, it didn't matter because in the second round, Derek came out strong as everyone expected to. He's just really fast for a big man. Exactly. He blasted him with a strong right hand. Alexi went down to the ground, and, after that was history. Got on top of him and just ground and pounded until they stopped it. So it was a good fight. It's kind of, like I said, it kind of went how we expected it to. But I was pulling for Alexi secretly. So, I would say I hope to see him come back again, but the dude just won't go away. Like 59 wins, he's going to be back, so.
Oh, for sure. He's going to keep fighting, dude.
And Derek, what's next for Derek? He was already number 4, so, you would imagine his ranking goes up, but he doesn't have much further to go up.
He's got a rematch with Ngannou, but he already won that fight, so I don't see why they would do that. Right. So then who else does he have? He's got to fight up, right? So he's either got DC or fight for the belt. Am I missing somebody?
Right. No, I'm actually just about to check it out just to make sure. But Curtis Blades is ranked number 3. I could see that fight for sure.
But did they fight already? Curtis Blades.
Maybe a while ago. But yeah, I could see.
Oh yeah, I don't think they fought yet. That's the next fight, dude.
That would definitely be a great fight. I definitely don't see Ngannou fighting down. I think Ngannou is going to get the champion. Whoever doesn't win the Stipe DC fight, I think Ngannou is probably going to get.
I actually think Ngannou is probably going to fight Stipe again, regardless, because I think DC, win or lose, is going to retire.
That's a good point.
But 2 days ago, Curtis Blades accepted a challenge from Derek Lewis. So 2 days ago, Derek Lewis challenges him, and Curtis says, "Yeah, let's do it."
Well, there you go. There you have it, folks.
Yeah,
that's going to be a hell of a fight.
Can't wait to see it, dude. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. All right, so I think we should go ahead and jump into the UFC 252 preview. What do you think?
Oh, dude, let's get into it, man. So
this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I think the first fight we're going to talk about is Dos Santos versus Rozenstruik. That's a fun name.
Yes, I'm glad you said it because I can't say it.
Say that name 20 times fast. Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik.
I bet you can't say his first name. Jairzinho.
Oh, dude, that was so smooth.
Jairzinho? I don't know. Maybe I said it right.
No, you had it right. Jairzinho Rozenstruik. It sounds so nice.
Such a cool name.
Yeah.
Versus Junior Dos Santos. So yeah, 2 monsters, obviously in the heavyweight division. I love a good heavyweight packed card, man. Heavyweights is like my favorite division to watch just because it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's literally anyone's game going into the fight. And especially with these 2 guys, with the knockouts they have under their belts. There's a clear difference here in experience. Obviously Junior Dos Santos has been around forever. Rozenstruik has been around for a couple of years, but he's fought some really big names and he's got some knockouts even over some legends really in the heavyweight division, including Alistair Overeem and Andrei Arlovski. If you remember, Rosenstruck is who destroyed Overeem's lip at the very end of the fight in the 5th round. So Alistair, to be fair, I think Alistair was going to win that fight by decision, and Rosenstruck came out and got I don't want to say lucky, but he got a solid shot there at the end, basically obliterated Alistair's lip and got the knockout.
It was a buzzer beater, dude. It was like,
yeah. I think it was literally within a few seconds of the fight ending.
Yeah. I mean, Alistair could have just literally just been on the back foot for the whole rest of the round and would have won for sure. But
yeah,
I don't know. He wanted to put on a fight or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if he's going to have that kind of luck with JDS, though, man. I like JDS. He's more methodical. Hasn't had as much luck lately.
Yep.
2 back-to-back losses, Ngannou and Blades, who are just nightmares of the division.
Exactly.
So
yeah. I mean, I think JDS is kind of coming out of his prime. Honestly, I mean, he's pushing 40 at this point. He's been around for a long time. He definitely doesn't have, I feel like, the chin that he used to have, but he's definitely still not to be slept on. I mean, the guy still has extreme power, an incredibly high fight IQ, and very methodical, like you said. So that should be interesting because the last fight we saw with Rosenstruck was Ngannou, who came out and knocked him out in 20 seconds. He just literally came out with a flurry of just swinging his Goliath arms around and knocked Rosenstruck out in 20 seconds. So that'll be interesting to see that kind of a fight. Coming off of that kind of a fight versus somebody like JDS, who's a little bit slower paced. So definitely interesting.
I think I will take JDS on this one because I honestly don't think that Rosenstruck has a very good skill set. I think that he relies on a one punch kind of win, and I think that JDS has more skills than that. Definitely more experience. So, but like you said at the start of this, it's heavyweight, so who knows, right? Anybody's game.
Anyone's game. Everyone's got a punching chance, as they say.
Ooh,
oh yeah. You know who else has got a punching chance? Yeah, you know who else has a punching chance?
Who?
Sean O'Malley.
Oh my God, I think he's got more than a punching chance, dude.
I know.
I don't even think that's chance. I think that's just like pure skill.
Oh, so much skills to pay the bills.
And he's got that hair. Oh my gosh, that hair.
He does have that hair. He's fighting Marlon Chito Vera on Saturday's card. And speaking of his hair, he dyed his hair the colors of the Ecuadorian flag. Marlon Vera is from Ecuador, so a little jab there. But Chito actually fired back. I think it was on Twitter I read and basically said like, hey, the fans have always praised me. So like he's basically throwing some shade at Sean O'Malley saying like, hey man, you're dyeing your hair my country's colors. Cool. I appreciate the love.
It is kind of weird though. Like, is it an insult to dye? Like that's a sign of respect, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know enough about like geography and like stuff like that to be like, well, maybe you should dye your hair the color of like, I don't know, Ecuador's arch nemesis or something. Does Ecuador have an arch nemesis? I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
All right.
But okay, sure. Sean O'Malley, he just likes dyeing his hair, I think. Just trying to stand out. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think we'll get into the fight preview here in a second. But like my observations with Sean O'Malley is like I almost liken him to a young Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? Like he's got the confidence, the way he carries himself, his cockiness. This kind of attitude that he's untouchable. He's very Conor McGregor-esque. In that sense, and I think he's making all the right moves. He's a young buck, like he's probably studied the sport for a long time and probably studied the UFC for a long time, and he knows how to get his name out there and make sure people are coming to pay to see his fights. And I think that's exactly the game he's playing, and also he just tries to get into the other opponent's head, you know what I mean? So I think that's what we're seeing. But to be honest with you guys, I don't really know a lot about this Marlon Vera fella. I don't know about you.
I don't either, actually.
Yeah, so
just to add to Sean's attributes, he's got like that enterprise, instinct or enterprise mindset, where he's trying to make money outside of the UFC. So I agree with you that I could liken him to certainly to Conor, I guess.
Yeah.
In certain ways, but yeah, I don't really know too much about Marlon. I honestly don't remember if I've seen him fight, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I honestly don't remember either, but apparently he's coming off a loss to Song Yadong. He's a black belt in BJJ. Interestingly enough, though, Marlon's not a ranked fighter. I don't understand the logic behind this one. Sean O'Malley just ranked. He just placed in the top 15. Marlon's not ranked. So I don't know why they gave him this fight. And I'm also not sure why Sean took the fight. I mean, I guess a young guy like himself, super confident. He just fought not long ago. He's like, yeah, man, I was suspended for a couple of years. Give me whatever fight. I'll take it. But I don't understand why this is a pay-per-view. Why is this a co-main? And yeah, it's kind of weird.
Oh, man, I couldn't agree with you more. A co-main up against Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic, to have an unranked fighter versus somebody that's not very highly ranked at all is just kind of shows how entertaining Sugar Sean O'Malley is, right?
Yeah. I guess my question is, like, there's so much more talent on the bantamweight in the bantamweight division, and some names that have brought in a much larger revenue stream. I don't understand why. I don't know. There must be something in the background. Maybe there's some beef that we don't know about. So if you guys out there listening to this know something we don't know, please do send us a message and can clue us in. But I mean, just looking at the list here, you've got Dominic Cruz ranked. I don't know if he's ever going to come back and fight again. Cody Stamen, Rafael Sanso, Jimmy Rivera, Jose Aldo, Corey Sandhagen. I mean, there's so many guys. Cody Garbrandt, obviously, we've been talking about him in a second. There's a reason why that's not the fight being made, but just a weird observation. I don't understand what's happening with that one.
Yeah, I don't know either, but you know what? I'm happy to see him fight. So as long as he's winning, which I assume he will, I'll keep watching him. So.
But like we said, everyone's got a punching chance. Cheeto might come out and surprise us all.
I'm expecting a first-round knockout. Who knows?
From Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
You never know. Who knows?
All right, so last but certainly not least, DC versus Stipe, number 3.
The trilogy.
Let the trilogy begin.
Let the trilogy end. Yeah. Let it begin. Yeah. Let's fight. Anyway, dude.
So smooth.
Yeah. So we took a poll on Instagram. I was kind of hoping you could talk about that a little bit with us.
Yeah, definitely. I think I uploaded that image. Did I send you that image? Maybe I didn't.
Well, I haven't put it on here, so we might as well just talk about it.
We put up a poll asking who you got, Stipe Miocic or Daniel Cormier. I'm not sure if you can see this in the camera. But overwhelmingly, 75% of people voted for Daniel Cormier, with 25% voting for Stipe. Very interesting. Let's see if my camera can handle that. My camera's like freaking out.
Oh my God, I think it focused on...
It came back. Wow.
It did.
I'm going to give it a pet. I'm going to pet the camera. Good job,
camera. Good job.
You served me well today.
Job done well.
Yeah. So interesting. I honestly expected the exact opposite. I thought for sure that we would see an overwhelming vote for Stipe, but you know what? We were surprised.
Yeah, man. I'm not sure why. I feel like just people have so much confidence in DC, and I think that they probably just don't have a lot of faith in Stipe because, up until the point where, he found a kink in DC's armor, he was losing. DC was winning that fight.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. Which is really weird because, like, Stipe is a Golden Gloves boxer, right? And Cormier is not a boxer. He just does this. He's got a very unorthodox way of fighting stand up, but he's a wrestler, right? By trade, he's a grappler and whatnot. Yep. Which Stipe is too. So it's really interesting to see that DC was piecing him up like that.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Yeah. It sounds like Stipe hasn't changed anything. Worries me a lot. Maybe that's what people are picking up on.
You know, it's interesting with Stipe because he's a champion, right? But he's somehow out of all headlines. Like, you don't really see a lot about his training camps. You don't see him. There's no drama surrounding Stipe. And I think that's because he's like one of the rare few guys who's got a life outside of UFC. He's a volunteer firefighter I think Columbus maybe, or somewhere in Ohio.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. You know, so he's just like, it seems to me like when he's not fighting and he's out of the spotlight, he prefers to be that way. So you don't really hear a lot about his camp and stuff like that. There's not a lot of talk about like what he's working on. But you're right, man. I think so. So first fight, when they first fought, you know, it kind of looked like Miocic was winning, definitely on the stand-up. And DC kind of caught him with the lucky, I don't know, I say lucky, but he caught him with a right hook in the first round, and then, you know, got on top of him, ground and pound, finished the fight. But in the second fight, DC overwhelmingly dominated, like you said, all the way up until round 4, and then Stipe adjusted and started going to the body, and it was a perfect counter to DC's strategy, and he just kept hitting him with vicious left hooks and uppercuts to the body. And that kind of opened up DC, and eventually Stipe clipped him with I think a right hook, and just kind of shook him, and they finished it off that way. But yeah, I mean, they both have power. I think, to me, I you know, honestly, DC's pretty short for the heavyweight division, and Stipe is a large guy. He's a really large guy. He's got the range, he's got the power. So in the books, to me, it seems like a victory for Stipe, and that's kind of where my money's at. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on who you think's taking this one home.
Well, I'm a big fan of Stipe's, you know, kind of hometown kind of guy right there. So I'm a huge fan of his. I'd like to see him win again. I do like DC as well. I am a fan of DC's, but I personally would prefer that Stipe win. You know, he's definitely my favorite here, but definitely can't count DC out, seeing as how he dominated both fights, almost the whole fight, until Stipe found that little kink in the armor. So,
right.
I really hope that Stipe went back and watched the tape and learned from any mistakes, but it sounds like he probably didn't. And if I know DC, he's probably got a whole new strategy for winning this fight. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put my money on DC, but I want Stipe to win. He's my favorite.
Right. Well, it's left to be seen. So you guys out there listening to this podcast, let us know on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you can find us. Who do you think's going to take this fight home? And obviously, we'll be reporting back on next Tuesday, our next episode of Weigh-Ins, to talk about the fight. But with that said, man, I think we've finished up with UFC 252, but we've got some other headlines to kind of cover if you want to jump right into it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. I think we're going to talk about Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington. You can see these two goofballs on the screen right now. Oh, my gosh. So Woodley's coming off a loss to Usman and Gilbert Burns. Colby Covington coming off a loss to Usman as well back in December. They're scheduled to fight September 19th, so almost a month from now. This feud between these two guys has been brewing. I don't know if you know a lot about the background behind these two guys, but they used to train at American Top Team together, and Woodley was the champ, and Colby was training with him, but Colby, from what I understand, was able to piece him up quite often there, so some feud broke out. Colby said that he screwed Tyrone's sister, I think it was, or maybe Tyrone screwed Colby's, I can't, one of the two, something like that, but it got personal, it got real personal. Tyron went on to Instagram or whatever, Twitter, whatever it was, and was saying, I want to kill this guy. I want to kill this guy, dude. But for some reason, a fight was lined up, and it just never came together. So I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to have a fight now. We're going to see this feud come to an end.
You know what? Well, I hope all this beef lights some fire under Tyron Woodley, man, because the last couple of fights we've seen, that guy's been asleep. He's been asleep at the wheel, man. He enters the octagon, and the dude needs a nap. Like, I hope somebody gives him a Red Bull or something before this fight happens, because he doesn't throw anything except for like his famous overhand right. that's all he's kind of got. So unless he turns it on in this fight, maybe he's just been sandbagging. This whole time so that Colby steps in the ring and then he just destroys him. You know what I mean? I don't know. That'd be hilarious.
Is that the secret plan?
That's the secret plan. I'm going to lose a bunch of fights. I'm going to lose the belt. I'm going to lose a bunch of fights after that just to get Colby in here. He's in the long game.
So no way. That's so ridiculous.
No. Yeah, I mean, dude, like I've said on the show before, like obviously we've seen his performances in the octagon, but like even I watched him on the Titan Games, an NBC show that's hosted by the Rock. It's kind of like an American Ninja Warrior spinoff thing with like these super strong guys. And even on that show, he just gassed out, or these like other guys who are like not professional athletes, they're like bodybuilders or whatever, but he got stomped out by this chubby little guy who's like a farm worker, a farmhand guy, who just happens to be super strong. He just got stomped out. Like he was embarrassed by the loss, So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
I gotta go watch that clip, but
you definitely should, man. It's just
he's
like,
lazy.
Man, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but on to another fight that should be equally as exciting, but also I'm just like curious. What decision making is happening behind the scenes with the UFC today? It was announced a day or two ago that Cody Garbrandt, who just made a pretty big comeback against Rafael Assunção, knocked him out with an amazing left hook, perfectly timed. He's back in the spotlight again. This dude gets a title fight already, but not in bantamweight. He gets a title fight against Deiveson Figueiredo at flyweight. So dropping down a weight class to fight Deiveson Figueiredo. So my thing is like, what kind of decision making is this? This happens on November 21st on UFC 255. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, kind of weird, but I feel like they were just like looking for somebody to fight Figueiredo because like there's not really a whole lot of people to choose from in that flyweight division. So yeah. Garbrandt's probably looking for a title, trying to do what TJ Dillashaw did, go down, see if he can pick off an easy win the title. But Garbrandt's still got a pretty big kink in his armor. He hasn't fixed it yet, dropping his left hand when he throws the right. He's gonna get knocked out, dude. If Figueiredo has watched any of his fights, he knows what to do to win this fight. It's exciting to see. Figueiredo's a beast. Cody's a beast. Anybody can get knocked out.
Yeah, both of these guys are so fast, and Figueiredo for the flyweight division is a giant guy. So, this should be a good matchup with Cody dropping down to fight Deiveson. Both will be pretty big for the division. I don't know, man. Deiveson, he just watching his last fight against Joseph, he's so good and he's so mean too. You can tell he's just like one of those guys who just has like he's like mean spirited almost. Just like standing in front of him seems intimidating. But Cody, we saw like we said before, he got them hands. So you never know what could possibly happen. But I mean, what if he does win if he wins that title? We know he's probably going to still come after that bantamweight title eventually. Whenever he's given that shot. And then there's always Henry Cejudo. He's always behind the scenes lurking around somewhere. So that guy, he's going to come back eventually.
You think so? I'm not sure, man.
He's getting in there, dude. He's getting in there.
Probably. He'll probably be back.
Yeah, he'll probably be back. But anyways.
I don't want to waste any more time on Triple C.
No.
Jeez.
No, definitely not. So we got some kind of interesting, kind of depressing, kind of gross, kind of upsetting news about Corey Anderson.
Yeah, so just viewer discretion, I guess, on this picture. It's a little bit graphic. I mean, it's just his face, but it looks pretty dang bad.
It's just his face.
It's just his face, but, he was on a 4-fight winning streak, and then he got knocked out by Jan Blachowicz. I don't know how to say it.
Blachowicz.
Yeah, in February. And some think that maybe that led to this hospitalization we see here a week later. He blacked out and collapsed on a gravel road. So there is some speculation that maybe his knockout wasn't treated properly by the event staff, the hospital, the doctor, the ringside doctor, essentially. But there's really not a whole lot of backing to that. But we do know that he blacked out and collapsed on a gravel road. Who knows what it was from, but this is the result. So kind of weird. That's not what I'm really talking about here, though. He is actually signing with Bellator. He's leaving the UFC. There was a mutual agreement between him and the UFC to end that contract, which is really weird since he was ranked 4th in the UFC and was still under contract. Not really sure what the decision was there. I'm sure something monetary or, who really knows. But he's going to Bellator. I don't know if it's been officially signed yet. I do know that he was officially released from the UFC, so he will be most likely going to Bellator. That's the news on the street. And they're thinking that he's probably going to be the top contender to fight against Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader has held the belt at light heavyweight since June of 2017. He's only defended it once, which is odd because that's a long time to have passed for somebody not to defend their belt.
Yeah.
But he moved up to heavyweight, and he's had the heavyweight belt as well since January 2019. Again, it's kind of weird. It's been 8 months since he's defended that belt. He's never actually defended the heavyweight belt. So I don't really follow Bellator that much. Maybe I should, but I don't know why this guy's been holding the belt for so long. I know Ryan Bader's pretty good, but who knows? Maybe Corey Anderson sees a opportunity, and he's moving over to Bellator to see if he can claim that Bellator title. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what the pay difference is between Bellator and UFC. I can imagine it's probably a pretty steep difference if I had to guess. But, I guess if he thinks or he knows that he's going to get more fights over at Bellator, he's obviously in a pretty competitive division in the UFC with obviously John Jones not going anywhere. Or maybe actually, I don't know, John Jones could go somewhere based on this pay situation.
Yeah.
Lots of competition, obviously, in the light heavyweight division. So maybe that's why he decided to jump ship. Maybe he thought he would get more fights over at Bellator, but interesting. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens. There's a lot of big name fighters going to different promotions, which to be honest, I think it's kind of a good thing for the MMA sport as a whole to have more competition out there, more competitive pay. So
I think it's good for the fighters, right? More competitive pay.
I was gonna say, it's just like you and I both manage people at our day-to-day jobs. If ever I have an employee who says they're leaving for a better opportunity, I'm like, good on you. So Corey Anderson, if you've got a better opportunity at Bellator or a different promotion, good on you, man. Hopefully your face recovers from that accident, and hopefully no, I'm being serious.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, but hopefully you recover, and hopefully they treat the underlying issue and figure out why you were blacking out to begin with and make sure you're clear to fight. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Good luck, Corey. I'm going to move on to the next article we got here. Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. These two historical legend in the boxing sport. We usually talk about UFC the whole time, but, it's a pretty big thing, so I figured I'd throw it in here, guys. Yeah. The event was an exhibition match. It's been postponed now. It's targeted for November 28th.
No.
So if you didn't know, now you know. It was originally scheduled for September 12th. Well, now you got to wait an extra 6 weeks to see it. Sucks, but it is what it is. So
is it? Do you know if it's because of Corona or what?
So there hasn't been an actual reason provided at this time, so I'm not really sure. Maybe I don't know. The management will come out and just say it wasn't the right time, or something didn't line up, or couldn't find the right shoelaces, gloves don't fit. Not sure. Hasn't been his Wheaties. I'm not really sure, but they both look like they're in tremendous shape. We haven't seen Tyson in this kind of shape in years, since I was a wee little lad, for sure.
Yeah.
And the final little bit there is it's going to be $49.99. Interesting, $49.99, and it's going to be streamed through cable, satellite, and a social media platform called Triller.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
I don't either.
I'm going to come out and say it. I like that price of $49.99. UFC, take a freaking page out of this book. You don't need to charge $70 for your events. $50 is a lot more reasonable.
I agree. $50 is more reasonable, but honestly, they should all just be free. Just get paid by advertising, darn it.
Well, that's the thing. They are getting paid by advertisement, you're still selling sponsorships in the octagon. You're still selling commercials. You know, you're still Reebok's paying you. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Even make it $40. Like, you know, like especially right now, there's literally nobody in the stands. Everyone's buying it on. Well, you know, let's be honest here. Not everyone's buying it, but if it was $40 a pay-per-view, I would definitely be more inclined to actually buy it than I am at $70. But anyways, off topic.
Oh yeah, no, I agree 100%. You know, I always love watching the fight nights because I know they're free. You know,
exactly.
It's a bit of a hassle to pay $70 every time we have a UFC event. So
yeah, for sure. Cool. But back on the subject, Mike Tyson, dude, I'm so excited. To be honest with you guys, I had never followed boxing, so I don't think I ever watched a live Mike Tyson fight. So I'm really excited about this. I've seen the clips of him training and how fast he still is. At how old is he now? 53 or something like that, maybe.
He's 50s, that's for sure. He's up there.
To be that age and that fast and that good a shape, I'm excited, man. But what I'm curious of is, like, we see the damage on folks, these younger guys that they take in a boxing match. What kind of, like, long-term lasting damage could these guys be risking by fighting at this age? You know, that's kind of a scary thought.
It is. And why are they must just be doing it for fun. Are they just doing it for fun? I don't get it.
Maybe. And, like, is it another situation where it's, you know, here I go again, Floyd Mayweather versus, what's the Filipino guy's name? Oh my gosh, dude, I'm blanking on the guy's name.
I am too. I know exactly what you're talking
you know
about.
what I'm talking about, though. Oh my gosh, people are going to make fun of us. I gotta look it up. Oh my gosh. Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao. That's what
To
it
be
was.
fair, I didn't finish my Google search. It came to me mid-Google search, so I feel
bravo.
like I deserve some credit there. Anyways,
I don't deserve any. That was terrible.
People kind of speculated that one was kind of like a money grab. Like those guys didn't put their 100% effort in it when they had their exhibition match. So I do wonder if it's something similar to that, you know?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they kind of said that fight, they think Manny should have had an opportunity to fight him earlier, and it just never came through. So I don't know. Some people say that Mayweather's record is padded, and he hasn't really had a whole lot of like big challenging fights. So yeah, who knows? But that's off topic. Tyson versus Jones. I can't wait to see the fight. Not sure who's gonna win, but should be fun. So yeah, man. We'll find out, right?
Yep, we will indeed.
All right, guys, moving on. We got a little bit of news about Zabit Magomedsharipov. Yeah, you are you're very impressed right now. I know you
impressed.
Very good. I had
very nice.
Had to fix something real quick, and we're good, guys. It's been announced that he will not be on the August 29th card. He's going to be returning to Russia for now. Why is that? Because Yair Rodriguez dropped out of their scheduled matchup, saying he's got an injury. They're saying he sprained his ankle. Oh my God, he sprained his ankle.
Poor little baby.
He's a little baby. You're gonna cry, little baby.
I'm gonna put a Band-Aid on that.
This is at least the second time that he has just like blatantly avoided a fight with Zabit. What? This is crazy.
Come on, dude.
Taking it another step, Zabit went on social media and said, "Yair, you got no balls. Oh, you got no huevos, buddy. No hell."
The Russian
say
guy,
it in Russian.
The Russian guy says balls in Spanish.
I wish I knew how to say it in Russian, but anyway. And then he followed that up by calling out Volkanovski, and he's like, "Hey, I'm ready for that fight. If nobody else wants to fight me, I might as well go fight for the belt." Volkanovski replied, said, "I'm not your replacement fighter. What does this look like? I'm the champ.
Yeah.
Go eat some breakfast, buddy. Get out of my face." Anyway, Zabit asked for a fight. He was just looking for something. He wanted either the belt or give me a fighter in the top 5. But nobody wants to fight him. Everybody's running around. They're all afraid, definitely like Yair. And nothing's getting put together. Zabit wouldn't take a fighter beneath him, and so therefore he's going back to Russia. No main event so far, August 29th. So what's on that?
What's Brian Ortega doing, man? Like, that would be a great fight. I don't think he's got any fights scheduled.
Dude, I don't think he's like, I don't think he's fighting anymore, dude. Like, he lost to Holloway and he hasn't fought since.
He's still ranked. He's ranked number 2 right now.
Yeah, man, he's gonna have to fight soon, or the UFC's gonna release him, dude. I know it's gonna.
They should. I get so tired of that stuff. Like, Conor McGregor was ranked for however long. He hadn't fought in almost 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, dude.
But Brian's only 29, dude. Brian Ortega's still 29. He's super young. And he's an amazing fighter. I don't understand why he's not in the... I don't know. Maybe he just is not in it anymore. Maybe he just doesn't care. But, yeah, you're ranked number 2.
It seems so long ago now.
And that, like, their styles would be a great matchup. That would be a hell of a matchup. But, yeah. So, whatever. Sucks for Zabit not to have a fight. Hopefully Yair... Do you think they would de-rank him on something like that?
They might kick him out of the UFC on something like that, dude.
Yeah, that's
they need to. They need to. Even though the last time he did this, I think they got him to sign a new contract. So I just want to see what Dana says. I want to see what Dana says about this because, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Take the fight.
I agree.
Take the fight, man. What the hell are you doing?
Well, Zabit's not the only one that's missing out on a fight. Uriah Hall lost his opponent, Yoel Romero.
Oh, man. Again, this sucks, dude. All these people canceling fights. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think right now we don't really have a lot of details on what's happened here, but apparently Yoel Romero is off also. Or sorry, this is a different card. The August 22nd UFC event. Yoel Romero would not be fighting. Uriah Hall just missed out on another fight. Who was he supposed to fight? I'm trying to remember now, but whoever it was came down with coronavirus. Wasn't it Jacare Souza? I think it was Jacare Souza.
I think you're right about that. He got the coronavirus and he wasn't able to fight.
Because I was super hyped up to see Uriah Hall fight. And he came. So this is the second time. I would be so pissed if I was Uriah, man. Like, that's your livelihood. You don't get paid unless you fight. And these people are just dropping like flies, dude.
You know what? I think you're right about that, dude. I think that he's been getting the shaft so far. So that sucks. I don't get it, and I don't understand why is Romero out. I didn't see any specifics as to why he's not fighting, but I mean I know the dude's old. It's just like, and he's got plenty of money, so maybe he just doesn't want to. I'm not sure, man. It's so weird.
Yeah, I'm looking at an article right now, still as of 6 hours ago, saying it's unclear why he withdrew. So it could very well be a situation where he's got corona, he doesn't want to come out and say it publicly. It's a very real possibility. So I guess more to come on that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. His last performance wasn't very good against Adesanya, but definitely I don't know. I'd like to see a brawl. I want to see him get in a brawl again because we all know what he can do when he's in a brawl. So
yeah, exactly. So I think rounding out the show, we should have mentioned this earlier, but you know what? It is what it is. Planning sometimes doesn't go accordingly. But Sean O'Malley, again, we're back to Sean O'Malley and Cody Garbrandt. So we talked about both these guys earlier in the show. Just a little bit of talking.
A little
talking.
Who you want to fight today, buddy?
This is a family-friendly show. We don't say curse words, so talking it is.
Just a little beef. Where's the beef? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Sean O'Malley, I thought it was just pretty fun to put in there. We talked about Cody Garbrandt earlier. Sean O'Malley, that's when he won his last fight and Cody Garbrandt won his last fight. There's a lot of speculation around should Sean O'Malley be matched up with Cody Garbrandt. Obviously, a huge difference in the rankings there. Cody Garbrandt, I think, is like number 3 or 4 in the bantamweight. Sean O'Malley, I believe, is like number 10 or 11. Or maybe lower than that. I can't remember. But, Sean O'Malley came out and said that I don't think Cody wants to fight me. I might be a little biased. I don't think Cody wants to fight me. I think he sees that fight. I'm long. I'm tall. I'm accurate. I throw straight punches. He throws hooks. He's 5'3". I'm 6'4". He don't want that fight. So quick fact check. Sean is actually 5'11". Cody's actually 5'7". So little shade happening there.
That's so funny. That's so subtle.
When he said that, when I read that, I was like, hold up.
Is he really 6'4"?
There's no way that he's 6'4". That's not possible.
Cody Garbrandt's only 5'3". Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, hold on a second. So I had to fact check that. According to Google, that's not correct. So, anyways, I think Cody actually had a rebuttal to that, or had been doing some talking himself to Sean before that. But I think Sean needs a fight or two before he gets up to Cody Garbrandt's level. I think he could probably take that fight. It would be a great fight. But I'm a believer of, like, you need to earn your way up to the top. That's kind of the way I feel. So, just because you're in the spotlight and because you're super popular, we've talked about this at length before. The UFC's in it for the money, obviously. So they could make that just to bring in the crowds, and it would be a great fight. But obviously Cody's got different plans, going to flyweight, taking on Deiveson Figueiredo. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. That's probably why Sean took this fight against Vera. So, who knows what's to come, dude. I can't wait to see the fight this weekend. I'm super pumped for it. I wish it was today. It's not. We'll have to wait until this weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
So just wrapping some things up, guys. There's not a whole lot left for us to talk about, but I want to quickly remind you to follow our show here on Twitch. If you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe on YouTube, guys. And also subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you really want to help us grow, share this with a friend, guys. Help us out. As always, we appreciate your support. We're glad you're here. And please don't forget to check us out on our new UFC Shenanigans forum on our website, thegingerofthebeard.com.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Last week, like we said, was a little bit of an interesting week, but hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things this week. Start posting up some more, discussions and questions there on the forum. So check that out. Like I said earlier in the show, make sure you check out our Instagram page. Later this week, we will have our normal, regularly scheduled podcast episode. We've got stuff to talk about in the worlds of tech and video games and all that good stuff. So make sure you tune in there and check us out on Thursday so you can vote on the beers that we're going to be drinking. But until then, we will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Have a great time.
See ya.